Hey, Stegosaurus. Stags here. I'm in jail for stealing that french fry. See that? It's called a callback reference. Shout out if you watched that last video. But actually, no, I'm just out and about. I'm just prowling at night. I just want to look at cool spots. But this is just a little venue, literally like right next to some shopping district that I live next to. I just wanted to just talk, just in random locations, because I feel like that's the most realistic places. It's like I go home, I have people, family around, and I have to have the most off-the-wall tangents. It's like if you want to make content or just like talk to yourself, you kind of have to talk to yourself. Like, I can't digress to this. Like, guys, I'm going to look fucking crazy no matter what I do, so I'm probably just going to go out and about from time to time to just go record things. Otherwise, if you hear me just talking to myself, don't assume I'm insane. There's a point to it. I'm trying to tell stories. I'm trying to just have fun with it. I'm trying to do whatever the fuck, But, I just wanted to talk about, like, a most recent story, which I feel like could be relatable for a lot of people. It's relatable to me because it was the conversation we had, but I've been in the same position in the exact same time of year. So, I had some family who just quit their job, and I'm sure, there's a lot of emotions. It's right at the end of the year. You think everything's hunky-dory in the holidays, and you get fired or you quit right before Christmas. Granted, I got fired. They quit. So, kudos to them. I was in a scenario just like, well, you'll hear me when I explain it. So, for them, their scenario, they have a position they're in. They are really good at it. They're an engineer, and they're good at their job. They've done it for years on end. They're a civil engineer, and they got handed a project. They're pretty much at like managerial status. You're getting your salary, all this other stuff, probably making who knows how much money, more than me, obviously. I didn't even get a chance to finish college yet, but we'll get there, all in due time. But that's not the point. This is the point, though. They're in a position where they aren't being watched by their managers. The managers are very hands-off, do as they please, but also are overworked. They work day and night and on the weekends as well. Her other coworker on another project, she had hers, they had theirs. Maybe his name was, I gotta make a fake name, Bravis. Definitely not Travis, but for Bravis, he was gonna go leave the company anyways. So for the past 2-3 weeks, he has been doing fuck all for his projects, and when it came time for him to just give it to somebody, they passed it to that family member. So now they have 2 projects that they have to deal with. They have to do their own work and then do, the translation of whatever Bravis fucked up. He can't even start at 0. You got to start at -1, 2, or 20, however he messed it up, how badly it is. That one's due in a week. And Bravis absolutely screwed over this company because, granted, the bosses also screwed themselves over. They didn't bother to check any of his work, get any status updates. They're just, oh, Bravis has got it. Bravis is so good, this and that, and they're just assuming. Just making assumptions on this shit. But, yeah, so, family member in question, they're having to face the brunt of it all because it's like, well, yeah, this guy dropped the ball. My bosses have their fucking pants down right now, and they're definitely not going to take the fucking blame, so who's it going to fall on? You! Is how it typically goes in the business world. Even my mom had some job way back when, and her catchphrase from someone else, maybe she was an assistant, I don't know, she worked at an office at some point, but a joke of some point, some boss was on a tangent, and then the last phrase of it, he's like, and the shit trickles down. And she's like, what? And she's like, the shit trickles down. Which, I mean, yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, these bosses aren't going to deal with their bullshit. They're going to pass it off to the next fucking guy. But the point being, it stands, it's like, it makes perfect sense because these bosses aren't going to deal with this shit. They're going to let it flow downwards. And for my mom, that's who that person was in that scenario, this family member for this scenario. And then for me, too, I was also a manager at one point for a forklift place. I was a route manager without the title because you don't have to pay more money if you're not technically a manager. So I was just a PM coordinator. I coordinated the part maintenance. I was the guy who scheduled routes for 25 different technicians, 5 appointments each, calling every day. I'm cold calling. I'm on a little treadmill and I'm sprinting. You know, it's like you're on a hamster wheel and you got maybe 2 days of leeway ahead of the schedule before these guys have no fucking work and they're going to just stand in your office and act like, you know, I mean, they aren't capable of doing it themselves. Most other places do it them fucking selves. They paid us to do it. This bottleneck scenario where we're the ones stuck doing the work of 25 men. But again, too, the management didn't want to deal with it. They were backlogged 6 months. I helped the only woman there, you know, figure out how to dig through all this like 6 months of unanswered invoices and all this fucking missed calls, appointments, all this bullshit. All this bullshit. Just go into the weeds. We figured out a system, you know, the two of us, like, I got up to speed within the coming couple of weeks, you know, like the first month. You know, I was just as good as the woman next to me. She's been there for 2+ years. She was amazing at the job. She soloed it. Granted, it made her practically insane at the job. She was irritable. She's probably a bit of a drunk. You know, she goes home every fucking day. Sounds hungover every time she comes into work. Like, absolutely loathing the fucking work she does. But point being, you know, I try to talk to my bosses like, hey, you guys using some software called Softbase from 2002. You didn't have an updated version. You didn't even properly fucking use it. Why the fuck are we using this Excel sheet? You can use a Google spreadsheet. You can use a Google Doc. Me and her could communicate perfectly, and we could even pass it on to the other people in our team who should be helping us. We had a woman behind us who just watched fucking Netflix all goddamn day. That's what she got paid to do. And then at the end of the month, for billing, she had to zero out maybe, I don't know, like 2 fucking invoices, whatever the fuck she did. She just zeroed out some, you know, paperwork on her computer and called it a done job. You know, it was amazing how much bullshit people got away with. Grown-ass adults, too. Back to all my ideas I had. It's like spreadsheets, Google Docs, internet. This shit that's existed from the 90s, why don't you fucking use it? Because whenever we have an Excel sheet, if coworker of mine, the one who's a drunk and fucking hate, if she fucks up anything because she's late 50s, early 60s, if she deletes one file on the computer, the Excel sheet is gone, the most recent version, whatever the fuck she's doing to fumble with it. It's happened once before. We lost an entire week's worth of fucking scheduling and we had to fucking do it all over again. On top of the days that we have to work in front of us. So we got a backlog on top of building the fucking train track in front of us. And we're just on this locomotive and we're just one little track at a time, barely clawing through. And it was a bitch. The bosses did not give a fuck. It was the end all be all. They told me no, we're not going to change anything. We shouldn't be using the Excel spreadsheets to fucking begin with, which is the dumbest shit in my eyes. It's like, you're already not using your system, you're already breaking the rules. Why don't you break the rules in a way that actually fucking helps you? If you're already just going to be a smart ass to me now, it's just so stupid. Like, what the fuck is the point? You're just going to fuck yourself? You're going to tell me you're fucking yourself? And I can't even begin to express the opinion on it, but they didn't like me. They didn't like me at all because I had all these ideas for them and shit like that, and they just wanted me to sit down, shut up, and do the work they wanted done, the way they want it done too. It's just deal with your issues, and I'll deal with my issues. And even though you're my employee, all your issues aren't my issues, is how it pretty much would go. And it was a pain in the ass, you know. I did that job for like 6 to 8 months. They eventually did fire me. The coworker in question, Brenda, was so fed up, she asked me the question too. It was just like, how much money you get paid? And I was like, you're gonna hate this. You're going to hate this conversation so much because I do make more money than you because I'm a college graduate. I have an associate's. I undermine it a lot. I graduated some form of college. I didn't finish a 4-year. I've had the 2-year forever since high school because they did dual credit. But I get paid 20, 21, and she was pissed, not at me, but her situation. It's just the fact that, you know, she's saying to me when we're having a little heart-to-heart, she's like, I've been at this job for over 2 years, and I'm barely getting paid either 15 to 17 or 17 to 19. She had to work 2+ years to get $1 raise each time, and she's not even making the fucking money I am. The money I'm making is barely livable, as it was. You know, I've got a paycheck every week. I can collect some cash. I can buy myself some some furniture. That's the first thing I bought. I was like, I'm going to go IKEA. I'm going to buy myself a dresser. I can fix my car every time it busts down. I can do whatever the fuck I want because this is just the bare minimum livable fucking wage I can work with. And for her sake, I mean, it understands. Like, that's completely understandable why she'd be pissed at herself constantly. But she got to the point where she's fed up and she's like, I want out. And I was like, you know what, girlie? I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all because one of the two things is going to happen. They're going to just work you to death, you know, or, you know, you're going to quit out of this and, I mean, they'll fire you. You know, it's like you either going to work this to the point you hate it so much or they're going to find a way to get rid of you, so get out in what way you can. She moved to a different department, thankfully. You know, she talked to the right people. She's out in the parts department. She makes 6 phone calls a day versus our fucking 500 we did collectively together. That's it, you know. It's like she just has to do 6, put parts in one box, put it in a guy's box with his name on it. Hey, asshole, there's your parts you're supposed to take for the fucking day. Get out of my fucking section. That's all she does now. And she's happy, you know. I've had a chance to talk to her lately, but I know for damn well it's like the day I got fired because they were pissed. They lost their workhorse. Those bosses fucking hated me. Once I made Brenda, that was the coworker's name. Once I made Brenda want to quit, I had a big fat fucking target on my back. They hated, they loathed me. They said, this fucking kid, I don't know why I spit on this concrete. That's disrespectful. I didn't mean to do that. They did not like me. They thought to themselves, this 20-something-year-old smart-ass piece of shit, don't know shit about nothing about business, and these are all just some blue-collar dudes who just have worked forklift at a forklift company for 20 plus years. It's all they know. It's all they fucking know. So they see me, I think too much, I'm changing too much shit, they fucking hated me. They hated me so much. Every little thing they let slip for everyone else, they have people show up 30 minutes late, not give a fuck, whatever the fuck, they'd clock my ass. The second I walked through the door, I needed to be either early, on time on the fucking dot. If it was 8 o'clock when I clocked in, I needed to be sitting in my desk at 8, not walking through the door, not clocking in on the ADP app or all this other bullshit. They were already file padding me for the shit that they wanted gone. Me, you know. I was just some excuse to them for why shit was going haywire. And then granted too, it finally came, you know, we had a new coworker. She might have came from like a work, what are they called? Is it union? I forget, but some recruiter, some like recruiter company. She probably came from one of those. You know, I got a new coworker to work side by side with me. I was running the section by myself for a little bit. It sucked having to do like 500 appointments for the week. You know, sit there and schedule. You got to rinse 100 plus phone calls for just you alone. And then your other coworker can double it for you, but you got to get those phone calls, you got to get those emails, and you're sitting there just shoveling it. You're shoveling the shit. And it sucked. It genuinely did, but new coworker helped me get to a point. Hey, look at that. You know, we're ahead on schedule. We're completely, like, all our backlog, gone. It is completely gone now. We sifted through 6 months of invoices, God knows what else. And yeah, once we clear all that, I was like, wow, like nothing can go wrong in this company now. And no, the boss just fired me right then and there. They're like, all right, cool. Like, we're good. We're afloat. Fuck you. You're fired. Get out of here. Get out of my sight. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's still like a week before Christmas. Like, I didn't need a paycheck anyways. Fuck it. But, you know, the end all be all story is, I talked to Brenda one last time, you know, because she would give me shit every day. She gave everyone shit, but me a lot just because I was in the vicinity. I was her one coworker, you know, and we'd sit there next to each other. And after I finally got fired, you know, she actually drove out from the parts department, went to the gas station I was sitting at across the block, and she sat there and talked to me for a solid minute. And I gave her a hug and all these things, and I was like, woman, I never hated you. I never didn't like you. I know it's a bitch working in this place, and I'm gonna go on and find my next thing, you know, whatever the fuck it might be. And it's like, but you know, it's like, I mean, you know, she's in a better position now. Because granted, there's no way she's gonna make it out of the last spot she was in. But, you know, she's in a better zone. But to wrap this full circle over to the other point I was making, that family member, you know, it's like they quit from their job. And then I was telling them too, it's like, hey, you're gonna leave that job, and in 6 months' time, you're gonna see that, you know what? I didn't need to be stuck like any of those motherfuckers. I did not need to be stuck by like a single one of those people who day in and day out are working, not even overtime, they're just working themselves to the bone. If they're on salary, they're working themselves day and then night, and then after hours, graveyard shifts, and even weekends, you know, just to stay afloat in this company because they're the boss. And it's like, hey, buddy, end of the day, that's your life. Because here's me walking out of it right now. You know, and kudos to that, you know, family member. They pulled up, they had their last day of work, and the stupidest shit, dude. The funniest thing for that family member's boss is the fact they're like, you know what you need? You need a time management course a week before the project's due. And she's like, you know what? How about you have one right now? Quits right then and there. Yeah, you were screwed. You were screwed at the one. You're screwed at the one project you got to do. You got two now. You got two that are due by this quarter, and you got to figure out how to do it yourself, buddy. So good luck at your company, and yeah, good luck trying to get more clientele at that point, because they've been screwing over their workhorses. You know, it happens. It's a dog eat dog world in business. It's just the way it goes. You know, no hard feelings, because at the end of the day, it's like those guys are beating the shit out of themselves. You know, it's like I don't hold any resentment towards my old bosses. I hope Brenda's doing good at this point. You know, I'm not working with her anymore. Hopefully she's not full on alcoholic, but that sibling I'm talking about, their boss, that dude was a drunk. That dude was a fucking drunk. He would show up hungover every day in a hoodie. He was irritable. He did not want to talk to people. He was eating himself from the inside out. He's hollowed as a human being. And you know what? I was telling that person, I was like, that family member, it's like, look, you don't have to be like these motherfuckers. You don't have to be anything like these guys. You can look at yourself and be like, I'm so glad I do not have to even entertain the thought of these people. And yeah, so here's kudos to them, and I hope they're doing good. I hope they're gonna go on and do more great things. It's just the end of the holidays, you know, but we've made it through more tougher stuff anyways. So, you know, that's the end of my tangent. You know, I'm hoping you guys are doing great, you know, this Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Shout out to maybe the one follower who celebrates Kwanzaa. Better like and subscribe on this video. But that's it for me. Enjoy your holidays. Go hug your family. And that's it for me. I'm Stegosaurus. You're an amazing human being. You deserve an amazing life. And I'll see you in the next video. I love you. Bye.